She expected death at the human's hands, yet was given pleasure instead. Sally slammed her bound wrists against the cell bars. Filth Eater! Spawn of void whelps! Grant me the honor of a warrior's end, or prove your cowardice. The human guard outside flinched. Her eyes, pale blue, unnaturally steady, locked on two Sally's. No roar of fury, no drawn blade. Instead, the human female named Mara Vance knelt and slid a metal case through the slot at floor level. Open it, Mara said. Her voice cut clean through the humid air, laced with an accent Sally's translator chip mangled into flat commands. Sally froze. Humans tortured. Everyone knew it. Their ships scarred rice battlefields with plasma burns that lingered for cycles. This? A box? She kicked it back toward the door. I beg a swift death, Softskin. Your games insult House Riss. Mara's gloved hand shot through the slot, steadying the case.
Not a game. You're bleeding out.
Open it, or bleed. Sally's mandibles clicked in rage. Blood trickled from the gash on her thigh, where the crash landing had torn her flight suit. Rice warriors endured pain. But this human offered no whip, no probe. Just a kit stamped with red crosses. Suspicion coiled in Sally's gut. A trap. Lure her to touch, then venom or trackers. Still, the wound throbbed, sapping her strength. She dragged the case closer with her bound feet. Claws pried it open. Inside, bandages, gels, a hypospray. No weapons, no barbs. Clean the wound first, Mara instructed. Gel seals it. Spray numbs. Sally hissed. You mock me. Bind me tighter if you must. But end this farce. Mara stood, unclipped a tool from her belt. Laser cutter. Sally's frills flared. Finally, execution. But the beam sliced her restraints instead. Wrist bindings fell away. Sally lunged, claws extended. Mara stepped back, hands empty. No fight, just those steady eyes. Brace next, Mara said. She tossed a flexible cuff through the slot. Strap it on your thigh. Stabilizes the bone. Sally's claws hovered at Mara's throat, inches from the bars. Human skin looked fragile, unscaled. One slash would end it. But the wound pulsed fire, and this human knelt again, cutter ready, not for Sally, but for the cell door's outer lock. No. Mara worked on something else. Sally glanced down. The brace hummed to life as she snapped it on. Pain dulled. Bone aligned with a soft click. Why? Sally demanded. Her voice cracked, betraying the fear she spat away earlier. Mara met her gaze. Protocol. Treat all prisoners humanely. You're no exception. Lies. Sally paced the cell, 3 strides, end to end. Risk captives rotted in pits or fueled enemy forges. Humans played longer games. You'll dissect me later. Probe my nerves.
Mara sheathed the cutter.
Not on my watch. Footsteps echoed down the corridor. Heavy boots. Human security. Sally's frills quivered. They'd come for her now, enraged by the insult she'd hurled, the ritual spit that demanded death from any Rice foe. Commissar Juno's orders. A voice barked. Prep the wrist bitch for interrogation. No delays. Sally's hearts hammered. Interrogation meant neural flares. She exposed the weak spot instinctively, claws raking the cell door's seam. A hairline fracture from the ship's earlier hull breach. One good shove, and it might give. The security team halted. 2 armored humans, rifles raised. Vance? Step aside. Mara didn't budge. She punched the inner lock override. The cell door sealed, from inside. With her. Sally recoiled. What madness. Mara leaned against the wall, blocking the single bench. She's stable. No transport till morning. The lead guard snarled. Open up, Lieutenant. Commissar's en route. Fraternizing with Xenos gets you both spazed.
Not fraternizing.
Mara shot back. Medical holds. Check the logs. Sally watched. Mandibles agape. The human had trapped herself. With the enemy. For her, Boots retreated, muttering into comms. Mara slid down the wall, knees up. The cell shrank around them. 2 meters by 3. Air recyclers humming stale oxygen. Sally crouched opposite. You're a fool. They'll execute you for this. Mara shrugged. Maybe. But you're not dying on my shift. Silence stretched. Sally's translator chip buzzed, parsing human idioms. Foolish compassion, or cunning ploy to extract secrets in isolation. She tested it, lunged again, pinning Mara against the wall. Human strength surprised her. Wiry muscles resisted but didn't counter. Saeli's claws pricked Mara's neck, drawing a thin red line. "Torture me if you crave it," Saeli whispered. "I won't break." Mara's breath steadied. No panic. Not torture. Talk if you want. Or sleep. Your call. Saeli released her. Paced again. The brace hummed. Knitting tissue. Human tech. Efficient. Wasteful on a prisoner. Hours blurred. Distant alarms wailed. Skirmishes outside. Mara checked her wrist pad, murmuring updates. Rice scouts inbound. Teskvel leading. Saeli's frills snapped erect. "Teskvel? He hunts me?" Mara nodded. Tracker drone confirmed it. "Your ride home, maybe." Home. House Riss awaited her failure. Captured behind lines. No data core extracted. Execution there too, if Teskvel deemed her compromised. "Why tell me?" Saeli pressed. "Knowledge is power." Mara offered a ration bar. "Eat." "Sustains." Saeli snatched it, chewed the bland protein. Better than starving. Vibrations shook the cell. Explosions, human defenses firing. Mara tensed. Hull breach nearby. "Stay low." Saeli obeyed, without thought. Instinct. Trust? No. Survival. A new voice boomed outside. "Vance, open the door." Now. Commissar Hark Juno. Face like carved stone. Eyes colder than void. Mara stood. "Negative, Commissar. Prisoners injured. Transport risks fatality." Juno's fist slammed the bars. "Rules bent for Xenoscum? Unlock. Or, I vent the cell." Saeli's claws flexed. The door's weak seam glinted under dim lights. One push. Mara glanced back, nodded almost imperceptibly. "Commissar, log it as mutiny if you must." "But she's no threat." Juno barked orders. Welding torches hissed. They'd cut through. Saeli met Mara's eyes. Human normalcy, calm under fire. Felt alien, extraordinary. "Why risk this?" Saeli murmured. Mara's lips quirked. "Humans don't discard lives lightly. Even yours." Torches neared the seam. Saeli chose. Claws hooked the fracture. She yanked. Metal screamed. Door buckled outward. Juno stumbled back. "Shoot them!" Mara shoved Saeli behind her. Drew sidearm, fired precise bursts, stunning rounds that dropped 2 guards without kill shots. "Run!" Mara yelled. Saeli grabbed Mara's arm. Dragged her into the corridor. Alarms shrieked. Riss boarding pods thumped against the hull. Teskvel's assault. They sprinted. Saeli's brace held. Mara's strides matched hers, boots pounding deck plates. "Evac bay!" Mara gasped. "Escape pods." Teskvel's voice crackled over shipwide. "Saeli of House Rice, surrender the humans who tainted you." Tainted. Compromised. Death sentence. Saeli halted at a junction. Blaster fire scorched walls. Ahead. Human pods. Behind. Her kin. Mara spun, covering both ways. "Go. I hold them."
"No."
Saeli fired a scavenged stun from Mara's dropped spare. Dropped a Rith scout. Together. Eyes locked. Trust ignited. They dove into the pod bay. Teskvel burst through a vent. Scaled Hunter. Claws gleaming. "Traitor!" Mara tackled him. Human grapple overpowered wrist precision. Saeli stunned him cold. Pod doors hissed open. They piled in. Mara punched launch. Acceleration crushed them side by side. Stars wheeled. Saeli's frill brushed Mara's shoulder. "You broke rules for me." Mara grinned through the strain. Pod thrusters fired in ragged bursts. Saeli gripped the crash harness, her frill quivering against Mara's shoulder. Acceleration crushed her ribs, but the human's grin held. No fear, only focus. "Pod integrity holding," Mara said. Fingers flying over the console. Riss interceptors on scopes. 5 minutes out. Saeli's claws dug into the armrest. Tainted. Teskvel's broadcast echoed in her mind. House Riss executed compromises. No mercy for bonds with soft skins. Yet this human had shielded her. Broken her own kind's chains. "Brace," Mara snapped. The pod bucked. Alarms wailed. A Riss fighter streaked past, laser grazing the hull. Saeli yanked her scavenged stun pistol. Fired through the emergency port. Blue bolt clipped the pursuer's wing. It spun away. Mara's eyes widened. Nice shot. Heat bloomed in Saeli's chest. Praise from prey. She shoved it down. Trap. Always a trap. Pod dove into Atmo. Planet loomed. Green haze. Jagged peaks. Uncharted world. Per Mara's scan, escape pod autopiloted to a crash landing zone. Impact jolted them. Struts crumpled. Dirt sprayed. Silence fell. Siley unclipped first. Claws extended. Scanned the cabin. Smoke wisped from panels. Mara groaned, blood trickling from a scalp cut. "Status?" Siley demanded, voice sharp. Mara blinked up, tested limbs. Bruised. "You?" "Functional." Saley hauled Mara upright. Human weight surprised her. Dense muscle under soft skin. They stumbled out into humid air. Jungle choked the sight. Vines thick as limbs. Bioluminescent fungi pulsing on trunks. Wristpods wouldn't land here. Too dense. Teskvel would track on foot. Saley knew his methods. Relentless. Precise. Mara sealed the pod. Rigged a proximity mine from spare charges. Buys time.
We need shelter. High ground.
Saley nodded. No argument. They trekked. Mara's limp matched her braced leg. Hours blurred. Slashing vines, evading sinkholes. Night fell fast. Predators howled. Saley halted at a cave mouth. Here, Mara checked with a flare. Dry. Defensible. They collapsed inside. Saley rationed scavenged bars. Human synth protein. She refused hers, pushed it back. Mara frowned. Eat, you'll drop. Poison. Saley bared fangs. Tested the lie. Hunger gnawed, but proof first. Human side. Bit her own bar. Chewed. Swallowed. See? Fuel. Saley watched. No foam. No seizure. Still, she starved. 2 days passed. Jungle fever crept in. Her vision blurred. Scales dulled. On the third dawn, she collapsed. Purposeful. Slumped against Mara during watch change. Forced the response. Mara cursed. Checked pulse. Dehydrated. Electrolytes off. Rice biology. High saline. Right? Saley feigned weakness. Watched through slits. Mara scavenged pod wreckage via drone beacon. Earlier drop. Returned with tubes, powders. Rigged a mix. Human salts. Alien purifier from Siley's kit. Stream water boiled clean. Drink. Mara pressed the nozzle to Siley's mandibles. Siley thrashed. Claws slashed air. Monster reveals itself. She lunged. Fang snapped at Mara's hand. Mark the captor. Prove the cruelty. Mara dodged. Pinned her wrists to dirt with knee and forearm. Human strength crushed resistance. No brutality. Just hold. Breathe. Panic passes. I'm not enemy. Saley's frill flared. Heart hammered. Mara's face inches away. Sweat slick. Eyes steady. No rage. No blade. Thumb stroked her wrist pulse. Calming rhythm. Minutes ticked. Saley's fight ebbed. Mara released. Offered the mix again. Trust the action, not the fear. Saley drank. Saline hit perfect. Revival surged. She sat up, stared. Why? You live. I live. Simple. Mara bandaged her own scratches. No grudge. Days merged. Forced proximity sharpened edges. Tuskvel's trail closed. Distant howls. Claw marks on trees. They built traps. Saley's precision snares. Mara's explosive triggers. Hunted together. Mara wrestled a razor boar bare-handed. Sally finished with spear, shared the kill. Nights chilled. They huddled. Siley's frill brushed Mara's neck. Human warmth seeped through scales. Tentative. Saley's tail curled near Mara's leg. No pull away. You're not what rice tails say, Saley murmured one eve. Stars pierced canopy. Mara chuckled. Soft skins break easy. You warriors unbreakable. Wrong. Saley traced a scar on Mara's arm. You endure. Eyes met. Mara leaned. Lips brushed Saley's jaw. Tentative. Saley froze. Then pressed back. Claws gentle on human shoulder. Heat uncoiled. Kiss deepened. Fangs careful. Tongues exploratory. Alien texture sparked fire. Teskvel's roar shattered it.
Saley! The taint ends!
They broke apart. Grabbed weapons. Mara shoved Saley behind rock. Cover me. No. Saley flanked. Together. Teskvel charged from undergrowth. Scaled hunter. Vibroclaws humming. 8 feet of lethal grace. Lunged at Mara. Saley fired stun. Missed. Mara rolled. planted boot in Teskvel's knee, cracked it. Alien howled. Claws raked Mara's side, shallow. Saeli pounced. Locked arm. Mara drove elbow into throat. Teskvel gagged. Mara zip-tied his limbs from pack. Efficient. No kill. He spat. Executioner comes. For her shame. Saeli knelt. I choose. Human saved me. You hunt blind. Teskvel sneered. Commissar Juno signals. Human fleet converges. No escape. Mara bound his mouth. Dragged him to cave. Leverage now. Saeli watched her. Protector. Not jailer. Bond solidified. She pulled Mara close. We signal your evac, then mine? Mara nodded. Risky, but yeah. Dawn broke. Mara hot-wired a distress beacon. Human codes laced with wrist freaks. Double-edged. Juno might answer first. Pods thrummed overhead. 2 signatures. Human dropship and Riz interceptor. Saeli gripped Mara's hand. Claws retracted. Fight together? Mara squeezed. Always. Jungle exploded. Juno's troops repelled. Riz breached canopy. Blaster fire crossed. Mara yanked Saeli into cover, fired suppressing bursts. Saeli stunned a wrist border. Juno's voice boomed. Vance! Surrender the asset. Clean termination. Mara yelled back.
She's no asset!
Stand down. Teskvel writhed in bonds. Snapped free. Lunged at Saeli. Purify, Mara intercepted. Tackles slammed them into mud. Claws gouged her back. Saeli roared. Stunned Teskvel point blank. He convulsed. Dropped. Juno's squad closed. Mara stood, bloodied. Hands up. She's defecting. Intel value. Saeli stepped forward, frill high. I vouch. Mara Vance lives. Juno landed. Hard eyes flicked between. Fraternization. Execution protocol. Mara straightened. Protocol bent for victory. She knows risk codes. Troops hesitated. Saeli broadcasted override. House Rice off. Teskvel neutralized. Pods recalled. Juno scowled. One chance, Lieutenant. Court-martial pending. He cuffed Teskvel, evaxed. Mara and Saeli boarded last, hands linked hidden. In dropship hold, Mara whispered. Worth it? Saeli nuzzled her neck. Ignites more. Fleet loomed. Trials awaited. But trust forged unbreakable. Human compassion outshone stars. Commissar Hark Juno's voice crackled over the intercom. Lieutenant Vance. Report to briefing deck immediately. Transfer the RIS asset to Interrogation Bay 3. No delays. Saeli stiffened in her restraints. The dropship shuddered as it docked with the fleet carrier. Human metal groaned around her. Cold cuffs bit her wrists. Mara Vance stood beside her, face a mask of duty. But Sael saw the flicker in those brown eyes. The hidden squeeze of fingers earlier lingered like a promise. Mara unclipped Sael's harness. On your feet, prisoner. Her voice stayed flat. Professional. She gripped Sael's arm. Firm, not cruel. Guided her down the ramp into the carrier's sterile corridor. White lights buzzed overhead. Armed Marines flanked them, rifles low but ready. Saeli's frill twitched. Interrogation Bay, human euphemism for breaking. She knew the stories. RIS, captives returned. As husks, minds flayed. Or not at all. Her house codes had bought a pause, but Juno's scowl promised payback. Teskvel still twitched in his own cuffs, dragged by 2 Marines. His eyes burned into her back. Purifier. Failure shamed him more than death. They marched past humming bulkheads. Mara kept pace, body shielding Sael from the Marine stares. Eyes front! Mara snapped at one who lingered too long. Juno waited at the corridor junction. Tall, scarred, uniform crisp. His gaze pinned Mara. Vance. Asset to Bay 3. Now. Intel extraction starts in 10. Mara saluted. Sir. She's high value. House RIS override confirmed defection. Juno's lip curled. Defection or ploy. We peel her either way. Move. Saeli's claws flexed against the cuffs. Humans lied with steel voices. Mara tugged her forward. Corridor narrowed. Red lights pulsed at the end. Transport tube to lower decks. Then Mara stopped. Her free hand slapped a panel. Alarms blared. Evacuation drill! All hands to stations. Hull breach Sector 7. Claxons wailed. Red strobes flashed. Marines jolted, comms exploding with chatter.
Breach? Confirm.
Juno barked into his wrist unit. False alarm? Vance. Mara yanked Sael toward a side hatch. This way, asset. Protocol reroute. She punched an override code. The transport corridor seal hissed open, but not to interrogation. A dim service tube beyond. Siley's scales prickled. Lie. Obvious. Humans didn't breach their own hulls. She dug her feet in. Trap within trap, human. What game? Mara's eyes locked on hers. Urgent. No time. Not a game, trust me. Now, boots thundered from the main corridor. More Marines. Juno's voice roared. Vance, stand down. Saley hesitated. Fear coiled. Centuries of war tales screamed betrayal. But Mara's grip pulled, not shoved. Heat from her palm seeped through cuffs. The woman who tackled Teskvel, who linked hands in the hold. Saley nodded once. Mara hauled her into the tube. Hatch slammed shut. Darkness swallowed them. Crawl space air reeked of oil and ozone. Mara flicked on a wrist light. Narrow vents hummed. Crawl. Fast. Saley dropped to all fours. Her longer limbs scraped metal. Mara followed, breath steady behind. Boots pounded outside, flooding the hallway they'd left. Juno's shouts muffled through bulkheads. Find Vance. Lock down the prisoner. Saley's heart raced. Claws scraped for purchase. Why? Your commissar wants me peeled. You steal me for what? Mara shoved her forward. Juno's clean rules, man. Fraternization means execution, for both. You're not going to interrogation. Siley paused at a junction. Vents branched. Human shouts echoed closer. They hunt us. Your own.
Damn right.
Mara's voice dropped. You vouched for me. I vouch for you. Risk codes or not, they'll break you to prove a point. Saley crawled on. Mara's light bobbed. Trust flickered, fragile as a newborn frill. Humans were monsters in the voids. Cruel. Efficient. Yet this one bent steel for her, tackled claws, fired at her own to shield. A grate rattled ahead. Mara kicked it free. They tumbled into a dim cargo bay. Stacks of crates loomed. Emergency lights glowed faint. No guards yet. Siley rose, cuffs clinking. Release me. Mara hesitated, then keyed her wrist unit. Cuffs snapped open. Sael rubbed her wrists. Claws extended halfway. Instinct. Mara held up empty hands. No weapons. Your call. Saley circled her, sniffed the air. Sweat, blood from jungle wounds. No fear scent. Human restraint. Not trap. Protection. Alarms shifted pitch. Intruder. Alert. Deck 4. Mara grabbed a crate lid. Pribber, we hit the shuttle bay. Get you off this tub before Juno vents the corridors.
Siley snatched a loose conduit rod.
Weapon.
And you. Court-martial.
Mara grinned. Fierce. Unbowed. Worth it. You? Saley's frill flared. Warmth spread. Ignites more. She smashed a panel. Sparks flew. Lights flickered. This way. They darted through shadows. Bulkheads vibrated. Boots closing. Sile's house training kicked in. Rice trackers mapped ships like jungles. She traced vents by hum. Left. Service ladder. Mara followed without question. Ladder clanged under their weight. Up 2 decks. They emerged in a humming power conduit room. Consoles blinked. No doors guarded. Saeli sliced wires with claws. Pulse alarm spiked. Diverted patrols. Humans chased ghosts. Mara leaned on the pry bar. Chest heaved. Jungle gore crusted her uniform. Gouges from Teskvel's claws wept red. You're good at this. House Riss owns voids. Sael tore a med strip from a wall kit, pressed it to Mara's back. Human skin yielded warm. You fight dirt clawed. Extraordinary. Mara winced, then relaxed. Teamwork, not domination. Shouts neared. Vance. Surrender! Asset termination authorized, Saley growled. Frill high. Teskvel's scent lingered in the air. Faint. Trailing. Pursuer freed? Mara tensed. Shuttle bay next deck. Move. They slipped out. Corridors twisted. Alarms wailed. A Marine patrol rounded the corner. 3 humans, rifles up. Saeli lunged. Conduit rod cracked a helmet. Marine dropped. Mara swung the pry bar. Took the second in the knee. Third fired. Wild burst scorched bulkhead. Saeli stunned him with a console shock. He spasmed. Down. Mara cuffed them quick. No kills. Clean as we can. Saeli's claws retracted. Human mercy again. Your way slows you. Our way wins allies. Mara wiped sweat. Eyes met Sael's. Heat built, not fear. Shuttle bay doors loomed. Mara hacked the panel. Green light. They burst in. 2 shuttles sat primed. Techs scattered at alarms. Empty cockpits beckoned. Then Teskvel dropped from an overhead vent. Bonds gone. Claws out. Compromise ends. Purify the traitor. He sprang at Sael. Mira intercepted. Shoved her aside. Priber met claws. Sparks flew. Saeli roared. Grabbed a fire extinguisher. Blasted foam. Teskvel choked. Slipped. Mara pinned him. Priber to throat. Yield. Teskvel writhed. Rice honor demands. Saeli stunned him with a jury-rigged shock from bay tools. He convulsed. Still. Bay doors hissed. Marines poured in. Juno at front. Rifle trained. Vance. Blast warning. Step away. Mara stood slow. Hands up. Sael at her side. Frill defiant. Commissar. She's defecting true. Intel live. Terminate us. Lose the war edge. Juno's eyes narrowed. Fleet codes blared. Rice signatures inbound. Teskvel's beacon. Saeli broadcast from a stolen comm. House override pulsed. Rice forces track me. Vance holds the line. Juno lowered rifle a fraction. Fraternization logged. Execution pending trial. Mara straightened. Blood streaked her face. Marine slammed Saeli against the brig wall. Restraints bit her wrists. Mara landed beside her, shoved hard. Cell door sealed with a hiss. Red lights pulsed. Juno's voice crackled over intercom. Quarantine hold. Trial at dawn. No contact. Saeli's frill twitched. Heat coiled low in her gut. Not now. Rice heat cycle struck without mercy. Pain blades dulled the fire, or mates quenched it. She had no blades. No mate. Human stench filled the cell. Mara's blood-smeared face loomed close. Easy, Mara said. She yanked at her own cuffs. Metal groaned, snapped free. Yours next. Saeli's claws flexed. Trap? Humans tortured captives. Stories from the front. Flames. Neural burns. This one played long games. Lies. You chain me for sport. Mara knelt. Picked the locks with a splintered cuff shard. Click. Saeli's wrists freed. Mara stepped back, hands open, not touching. Your call. Heat surged. Saeli's scales itched. Vision blurred. She clawed her thigh pouch. Pain blades hid there. Ceremonial. Razor-edged. One slice ended the cycle's agony. Better than begging a human. Mara lunged. Grabbed her wrist. Whoa, what's that? Saeli snarled. Twisted free. Blade gleamed. My right. Stay back. Heat clawed deeper. Legs buckled. She raised the blade to her arm. Tradition demanded bloodletting. Rice endured, never yielded. Mara blocked the strike. Fingers clamped Saeli's forearm. Not crushing. Precise. Stop. Talk first. What's it do? Saeli's frill spiked. Pain throbbed. Cuts the fire. Heat cycle. Kills need or I shatter. Mara's eyes widened. Fraction. She released the wrist. Stepped back again. Fire. Like fever? Or need? Saeli's tail lashed. Human knew nothing. Need. Made need. Blades numb it, or death. Mara nodded slow, glanced at the blade. Give it here. I'll hold. You decide. Trap. Violation loomed. Humans raped captives. Broke them. Saeli's heat made her weak. Perfect prey. She gripped tighter.
You want it to use on me.
No. Mara's voice stayed level. Your body. Your rules. I take blade. You breathe. Try that first. Consent, Saeli. Say yes or no. Consent. Rice warriors took. Conquered. No word for permission in battle heat. Saeli's scales flushed deeper. Blade trembled. Fire burned hotter. She lunged, grabbed Mara's wrist instead, yanked bare skin to her frill. Direct contact. Human pulse raced under scales. Test it. If Mara recoiled or struck, truth out. Mara froze. Didn't pull away. Skin warm. Steady. Saley. Contact ignited sparks. Saley's heat roared. Mate bond instinct screamed. Claim her. Claws pricked Mara's arm. Feel it. Human. Your filth in my blood. Mara's free hand rose slow, hovered at Saley's shoulder. Permission? Sally hissed. Pushed closer. Frill brushed Mara's jaw. Test passed? Or strike? Mara exhaled. Long, even.
Go.
No strike. Lean in.
Match my breath.
Saley snarled. Heat twisted her gut. But Mara's skin anchored. No claws, rice trackers like Tuskville purified weakness with blades. This human held. Permission for pressure? Mara asked. Fingers ghosted Saley's neck ridge. Saley's tail coiled. Yes. Do it.
Mara pressed. Thumb on pulse point.
Berm circle. Breathe with me. In, out. Saley matched. Air hissed through vents. Heat ebbed a notch. Mara's other hand cupped her elbow. Steady pressure. No grab. No thrust. Why? Saley rasped. Blade clattered to deck. Humans break. You, ask. Mara's eyes locked. Gray. Unflinching. Book says secure prisoner. Your ally now. Allies choose. Frill quivered. Saley's claws retracted. Heat simmered. Not scorched. Skin contact hummed. Bond forming? Impossible. Cross-species taboo. Execution waited outside. Cell intercom buzzed. Juno's growl. Vance. Status. No funny business. Mara didn't flinch. Kept pressure steady. Quarantine holding, Commissar. She's stable. Intel prepped for debrief. Saley leaned heavier. Mara's warmth seeped in. Rice Hunter demanded purity. But this saved her. No pain blades. No violation. Trust cracked open. Alarms wailed. Deck shuddered. Risic signatures inbound. Her broadcast pulled the fleet. Tuskville's purge signal. Marine shouted outside. Blaster fire echoed. Mara pulled Saley upright.
Time's up. Your people or Juno's trial?
Saley's claws flexed, grabbed Mara's collar. Yours. Fight with me. Heat. Lingered. Bond. Tugged. She yanked Mara toward the vent grate. Escape route glimpsed earlier. Claws pried it loose. Dark duct beckoned. Mara nodded. Lead. They crawled. Saley's frill brushed Mara's back. Contact sparked again. Not fire. Anchor. Duct dumped into engineering bay. Techs scrambled at consoles. Risk boarding pods thudded against hull. Tuskville burst through a side hatch. Claws dripping coolant.
Traitor. Human taint ass.
He sprang. Saley shoved Mara aside. Tail whipped his legs. Tuskville stumbled. Mara grabbed a plasma torch. Ignited blue flame. Flank him! Mara yelled. Saley circled. Heat fueled her strikes. Claws raked Tuskville's arm. He roared. Lunged at Mara. Mara dodged. Torch slashed his thigh. Sizzle. He howled. Saley pounced. Locked jaws on his neck ridge. Not killbite. Submission hold. Yield. Tracker. Riss fleet hears. I claim alliance. Tuskville bucked. Went limp. House overrides. Mara bound him with conduit wire.
Good hold.
Saley's chest heaved. Heat cooled to embers. Mara's hand brushed her frill. Permission unspoken now. Touch lingered. Bay doors buckled. Rice warriors poured in. Rifles up. Leader's frill flared. Saley Riss. Status. She stood tall. Mara, at side. Alliance forged. Human Sade's house. Accept or challenge. Warriors hesitated. Eyes on Mara. Human competence. Torch still hot. No fear. Leader ComEd. House override confirmed. Pods recalled. Truce signal pulsed. Juno stormed in behind. Rifle raised. Marines flanked. Stand down. Mara stepped forward. Hand on Saley's back. Commissar. She's key. Riss fleet pulls back. We win without blood. Juno's jaw clenched. Fraternization. Strategy. Mara cut in. Log it as such. Sally's frill aligned with Mara's shoulder. Trust sealed. Heat's echo bound them. Enemies? No. Protectors. Riss leader nodded. Human joins escort. To Riss space. Prove worth. Juno lowered rifle. Scowled. One chance, Vance. Screw up. I execute both. Mara grinned faint. Blood-crusted. Our way wins. Sally gripped her wrist, skin to scale. Pulse synced. Shuttle ramp lowered. Unknown stars waited. But Teskvel's eyes gleamed from bonds. Whispered vow unheard. Purity. Returns. Deck trembled. Something detached. Beacon? Purge drone launched? The airlock hissed open. Heavy boots thudded against grated decking. Sally's frill snapped tight against her neck. Teskvel's pheromones flooded the corridor. Sharp, unyielding, laced with hunter's intent. He tracked her. Her own trace lingered despite Mara's efforts, faint wisps seeping from the maintenance closet where they crouched. Mara shifted beside her. Human muscles coiled like wound cables. She pressed a finger to her lips. Silence. Sally's scales itched under the sealed fabric. Mara's emergency void wrap, slick with industrial solvent. The stench burned her nostrils, a chemical fire that drowned her natural scent. Mara had doused her an hour ago, ignoring Sally's gasps as it seared tender frill edges. Rice traitor! Teskvel growled through his breather mask. His voice echoed off bulkheads. Claws scraped panels. He paused outside their door, sniffed pheromone ghost. Compromised. Purity demands purge. Sally's vents heaved. She clawed at Mara's arm. The human skin warmed her scales. Trust pulsed there, unearned, unbreakable. Mara had chained her at capture, fed her rations by the book, then broke protocol, hid her when Juno's patrols tightened, shared heat when station power flickered. No torture, no cruelty. Protection. Now this. Teskvel, house enforcer from the Purity Vale. Tasked to drag her back, erase human taint, execute witnesses. Mara would die for the sin of mercy. Sally twisted free, whispered into Mara's ear. Surrender me.
I go. You live.
Punishment spares soldiers. Mara's eyes hardened. Steel gray. She shook her head once. Gripped Sally's wrist. Pulse synced. Human heart thudding steady against her racing vents. No. Mine now. Footsteps halted. Claw tapped the door panel. Lock clicked. Teskvel overrode it with a house key fob. Sally lunged for the hatch release. Mara yanked her back. Slammed her into cover behind solvent drums. Door slid open. Teskvel filled the frame. Tall, frill rigid, rifle leveled. His breather cycled pheromones into mist. Sally rice. Yield. Human dies unclean. Mara exploded from shadow. Fire extinguisher ripped from wall mount. Nozzle blasted full. White foam erupted. Choking cloud of powder and propellant. Teskvel reared. Rifle swung wild. Foam coated his frill. Sealed his breather. He bucked clawed air. Coughed chemical rage. Sally dove low. Grabbed his ankle struts. Mara pivoted. Dropped shoulder into his chest. Human weight, dense unyielding, drove him back. Teskvel's boots skidded. They crashed into airlock threshold. Mara pinned him. Conduit wire from her belt whipped out, looped his wrists. Pulled tight. Teskvel bucked. Went limp. House? Overrides. Good hold, Mara grunted. She bound his ankles next. Wire bit scales. Secure. Sally's chest heaved. Heat cooled to embers in her vents. Mara's hand brushed her frill. Permission unspoken now. Touch lingered. Scales flushed under fabric. Bond tightened. Human compassion outfought alien discipline. Mara dragged Teskvel into the closet. Propped him against drums. Rifle confiscated. She slapped the airlock's inner override. Heavy bolts slammed home. Sealed tight. No escape for him. No pursuit. Sally leaned into Mara. Shoulder to shoulder. You fight. For me. Like Kinclutch. Mara wiped foam from her face. Grinned faint. Blood from earlier scuffle crusted on lip. Book says protect assets. You're more. Her fingers traced Sally's wrapped arm. Solvent soaked through. Smell gone? Sally inhaled. Her trace vanished under chemical bite. Teskvel's pheromones choked the air instead. Masked. You improvise. Humans. Extraordinary. Deck shuddered. Distant klaxons wailed. Mara keyed her comm. Static crackled. Juno's voice barked through. Vance. Report breach. Alien border confirmed. Lockdown. Handled, Commissar, Mara replied. Calm. One tracker. Bound. Airlock secured. Pause. Juno's tone iced. Fraternization logs flag you. Stand by for extract. Mara cut comm. Pulled Saley towards service ladder. Move. Juno wants clean kills. We buy time. They climbed. Tight shafts reeked of ozone and grease. Saley's claws scraped rungs. Mara's boots thudded above. Fabric chafed her scales, but solvent held. No trace left. Halfway up, bay doors buckled below. Explosive breach. Saley froze. More pheromones. Riss house markers. Clean. Loyal. Her frill flared instinctive. Warriors poured in. Rifles swept corridors. Leader's frill dominated crimson-edged. Sayali Rice. Status. Mara dropped beside her. Rifle ready. Peaked hatch. Sayali stood tall. Pushed past. Mara at her side. Hand hovering near back. Protection unspoken. Alliance forged, Sayali declared. Voice carried. Human saves house. Accept or challenge. Warriors hesitated. Rifles tracked Mara. Human stood no fear. Torch from earlier weld still glowed red in her grip. Competence radiated. Foam residue on armor. Wire burns fresh. Leader's eyes narrowed. Calmed house central. Override query. Saley Rice claims bond. Affirmative ping echoed. Pods recalled across system. Truce signal pulsed from his vambrace. Fleet shadows peeled from sensors. Juno stormed corridor behind. Marines flanked. Rifles raised. Vance, stand down. Prisoner transfer now. Mara stepped forward. Hand firm on Saley's back. Scales warmed under touch. Commissar, she's key intel. Rice fleet pulls back. We win without blood. Juno's jaw clenched. Scanned warriors. Frills aligned neutral. Fraternization breach. Execution queue. Strategy. Mara cut. Voice edged steel. Log as asset leverage. Wins war. Saley's frill aligned with Mara's shoulder. Trust sealed. Heat's echo bound them. Vents to heartbeat. Enemies? No more. Protectors. Risk leader nodded. Eyed Mara. Human competence proven. Joins escort. To Rice space. Prove worth there. Juno. Lowered rifle fraction. Scowled deep. One chance, Vance. Deviation means I execute both. Clean. Mara's grin flashed. Blood-crusted. Eyes alight. Our way wins wars. Saley gripped Mara's wrist. Skin to scale. Pulses synced. Solid. Shuttle ramp lowered in bay. Unknown stars beckoned through viewports. Rice warriors boarded first. Mara nudged Saley ahead. Teskvel's glare burned from bonds in closet. Whispered vow lost in noise. Purity. Returns. Deck trembled violent. Alarm spiked. Mara spun. What? Something detached from station hull. Beacon flare? Purge drone streaked silent into void. Juno's voice boomed over open comm. Vance! Drone launch confirmed. Purity Veil purge. Your position tagged. Warriors frilled alarm. Leader barked orders. Ramp cycled urgent. Mara shoved Saley aboard. Rifle up. Go. I'll hold extract. Saley clutched Mara's arm. Pulled hard. No. Together. Clutch bond. Mara vaulted in after. Ramp slammed. Thrusters roared. Drone sensor ping chased them. Relentless homing. Saley strapped in beside Mara. Human hands locked harness. Proximity forged in fire. Teskvel's purge vowed erasure. But Mara's fight. Foam blast. Wire bind. Defiant stand. Rewrote fear. Compassion armored them. Shuttle punch to stars. Drone closed. Mara keyed weapons console. Hold tight. Saley gripped her hand. Frill flared defiant. Human protector. Her protector. Trust over terror. They surged into black. But drone locked. Missiles hot. Collision seconds out. Mara twisted controls. Evasive roll. Rice guns. Fire. Leader complied. Plasma lanced. Drone shattered in bloom. Debris scattered. Quiet fell. Stars stabilized. Saley's vents eased. Mara slumped back. Hand found hers again. Lingered. See? Mara murmured. We win. Sally's scales flushed. Bond deepened. Cross-species. Unbreakable. Rice space waited. Proof ahead. Juno shadow loomed. Teskvel's purity hunted. But Sally keyed the encrypted panel. Her frill pulsed code. RIS sigil. House priority. Fingers flew across alien glyphs. Shuttle hummed steady now, stars streaking past viewports. Mara watched from the pilot seat, brow furrowed, warriors strapped in rear, then syncing with Sally's rhythm.
House Rice,
Sally transmitted. This is Sally, captive status inverted. Human asset secured, clutch bond affirmed.
prepare parlay protocols. Static hissed back.
Then her house elder's voice crackled. Sally? Confirm purity? Human taint? No taint. Sally's scales flushed warm. She glanced at Mara. Human hands steady on controls, eyes sharp. I chose her, Lieutenant Georges. Mara Vance. She shielded me, broke her chains for this. Silence stretched. Warriors shifted. Leader's frill queried. Doubt? Sally met his gaze. Truth. Bond proven in purge fire. Elder responded. Return vector locked. Teskvel shadows you. Purity hunter inbound. House shields you both, for now. Link severed. Sally exhaled. Mara leaned close. What did you tell them? Sally's vents eased. Human proximity stirred her frill. Comfort. Not threat. Truth. You are mine now. Mara's lips quirked. Smile. Humans did that. Mutual then. She tapped console. Incoming ping human frequent. Shit. Juno. Comms lit. Commissar Hark Juno's face filled the screen. Hard eyes, jaw set. Vance. Explain shuttle signature. You're AWOL with alien scum. Mara stiffened. Sally gripped harness. Warriors bristled. Claws tapping. Commissar, Mara said. Voice level. Extract op. Prisoner secured. Heading wrist border. Lies. Juno's glare pierced. Purge drone tagged you. You fled. Desertion. Execution on docking. Sally's frill flared alarm. Execution. For what? Mara's hand found Sally's under console. Squeezed. Sir, stand down. Logs prove compliance. Logs mean nothing. Juno's voice dropped cold. You bonded. Weakness. Both die clean. Screen blanked. Mara cursed. Slumped forward. He's right. Hark plays hardline. Fraternization clause. Desertion if I cross lines with you. They'll space us both. Sally's scales chilled. Human broke rules for her. Restraint wasn't trap. It was risk. Her protector. No, we fight. She yanked her datapad. Medical logs. Mara's records from capture. Scans showed restraint. No torture marks on Sally. No harm logged. Human mercy documented. Parlay, Sally declared. Status surged through her. House RIS air. She patched open channel. Rice net, human freak, wide broadcast. Warriors protested. Leader barked halt. Mara grabbed her wrist. Sally. No. Watch. Sally hit transmit. Her voice boomed across void. This is Sally of House Rice. Air designate. I demand parley with human command. Lieutenant Mara Vance honored code. Proof. Medical logs attached. No cruelty, compassion. Logs beamed out. Human vitals. Alien scans. Undeniable. Restraint proven. Rice channels exploded. Elder. Bold. Air. Teskvel hears. Human sidelit. Juno again. Traitor broadcast. Cut it! Sally pushed on. Frill defiant. Mara Vance chose life over protocol. She shielded RIS blood. I claim her. Clutch protector. Both houses witness. Mara's eyes widened. Hand tightened on Sally's. Warmth spread. Bond thrummed. Juno snarled. Enough! Comm severed. Alarms wailed. Shuttle sensors. Armed interceptors launching. Human guard ships. Erase evidence. Mara spun controls. Thrusters flared. Rice's escort. Now. Leader complied. Warriors manned guns. Plasma coils hummed. Sally's heart raced. Vents rapid. Mara dodged first pursuer. Human ship loomed. Cannons hot. Fire! Mara yelled. Rice bolts lanced. Enemy veered, shields sparking. Second ship closed. Missiles streaked. Saley strapped tighter. Mara's focus. Pure, evasive roll. Counterfire. Debris bloomed. Teskvel's signal pinged. Alien hunter. Saeli, purity demands recall. Human erased. No. Saeli keyed override. House off locked him out. For now. Shuttle bucked. Third ship grazed them. Hull groaned. Mara grunted, blood trickling from lip. Shrapnel? Saeli's claws extended. She yanked medkit. Pressed foam to wound. Hold. Mara flashed grin. Thanks, Clutch! Pursuers circled. More incoming. Riss space beacon pulsed. Close. But Juno's fleet massed border. Saley seized open channel again. Desperation fueled her. All frequencies. Saole of House Riss pledges allegiance to Mara Vance. Human compassion trumps purity. She lives. We live. Or war eternal. Broadcast peaked. Rice elders acknowledged. Human chatter spiked. Shock. Outrage. Then, silence. No response. Mara banked hard. They're conferring. Both sides. Sensors screamed. Massive signatures. Riss dreadnoughts. Human carriers. Converging. Leader's frill quivered. Air! They parley without us. Saeli's scales prickled. Open channel crackled alive. Not Juno. Not Elder. Neutral arbiter voice. Declaration noted. Saeli of House Rice. Lieutenant Day. Mara Vance. Compromise deemed threat. Both governments concur. You must disappear. Lock-ons beeped. Every ship targeted them. Mara's eyes met Saley's. Run? Saley nodded. Frill locked with human gaze. Together. Thrusters maxed. Stars blurred. Fleets closed in. Escape. Slim. Bond unbreakable. But hunters from both sides bowed erasure. Bulkheads slammed shut behind them. Saeli sprinted. Claws scraping deck plates. Mara's boots pounded beside her. Red emergency lights strobed the corridor. Human security team shouted orders ahead. Juno's men sealing the carrier's shuttle bay. Left! Dockbird at Bay 3, Mara yelled. She gripped her sidearm, fired 2 suppressing shots. Sparks flew from a control panel. A bulkhead hissed, half closing. Saley's frill flared, heart racing. The broadcast had bought seconds, not safety. Riss elders demanded purity. Juno called it treason. Both fleets converged on this neutral carrier they'd limped to for repairs. Now hunters closed from every hatch. Rounds whined past. Saley shoved Mara sideways. Faster, they flank. Mara rolled, came up firing. One guard dropped, clutching his leg. Not leaving you, scale-face? Saley's scales itched under her temp-suited skin. Human slang. Clutch, scale-face. Affection, not insult. She'd expected chains, probes, agony in human captivity. Instead, Mara bandaged wounds, shared rations, broke protocols, saved her from Teskvel twice. Compassion, not cruelty. It terrified her more than torture. They rounded the corner. Shuttle bay doors loomed, half open. 2 security teams braced there, rifles trained. Juno's voice boomed over speakers. Bance! Surrender the Xeno. Clean resolution. Mara skidded to a halt, yanked Saley behind a crate stack. He's quoting regs. No mercy. Saley's tail lashed. Teskvel's signal pinged her implant. Close. Wrist trackers slipping through vents. Both want us dead. Shuttle or die. Mara nodded. Eyes fierce. Cover me. No. Saeli lunged first. Her body shield hummed to life. House wrist tech. Scaled plates unfolding from harness. Energy field shimmered blue. She charged the corridor mouth, blocking the direct line. Rounds slammed her shield. Impacts jolted her arms. Sparks cascaded. Mara! Fly! I hold. Mara's shout cut through.
Hell no!
She vaulted the crate, grabbed Saley's harness strap, dragged backward as shield flickered. Go! Saley roared, claws digging in. She planted feet. Frill rigid. Sacrifice bought time. House honor demanded it. Pure bloodlines. No human taint. Mara twisted, fired one-handed. A guard crumpled. Not without you. She hooked an arm around Siley's waist, heaved. They tumbled together toward the shuttle ramp. Hatch rounds pinged off the frame. Siley retracted shield mid-fall, slashed a claw at the closing gap. Sparks flew. They rolled aboard. Mara slapped the override. Ramp wind up. Last shots dented metal inches from Siley's tail. Shuttle thrummed. Mara strapped in pilot's chair, fingers flying over controls. Strap down. Siley staggered to co-pilot, claws fumbling human belts. Alarms wailed. Lock-ons from carrier guns. Bay doors ground open. Thrusters ignited. Teskvel's voice crackled on open comm. Siley. Yield. Purity protocol. Never! She smashed the channel silent. Carrier receded. Stars wheeled as Mara punched evasive, but sensors lit up. Risk corvettes decloaked. Juno's interceptors swarmed. Dreadnought shadows loomed. Siley's frill quivered. They'd escaped the bay. Not the noose. Mara banked hard. Fuel low. Jump drive spooling. 2 minutes. Too long. Fighters closed. Siley's claws extended. She scanned scopes. 6 hostiles. Vectors tightening. Human compassion had chained her to this fragile craft, this reckless soldier. Abandon Mara. Signal Rice for pickup. Live as air. Or die bonded. No. Mara had dragged her aboard. Refused the smart play. Siley seized Mara's hand. Warm, calloused, human skin against scales, pulled it to her chest plate, in full view of blinking bridge cams. External feeds still broadcast. I name you, Siley declared, voice steady. Open channel auto-activated. Mara Vance, bond partner of Siley of House Rice. Flesh and frill united.
Kill one, damn both.
Mara's eyes widened. Grip tightened. No pull away. Siley. Broadcast spiked. Human chatter exploded. Outrage. Shock. Rice channels surged. Air claims alien. Blasphemy. Elders icons flashed denial. Jump drive whined. Fighters fired. Hull shuddered. Siley held Mara's hand, frill locking around her wrist in ancestral grip. Trust sealed. Terror faded to fire. Stars streaked. Hyperspace swallowed them. Shuttle stabilized. Silence fell, broken by Mara's chuckle. Bond partner? That's permanent? Siley's scales flushed violet. Wrist blush. Yes. You refused my shield. Dragged me. Chose me. Mara unstrapped. Wiped blood from earlier lip gash. Book says, secure prisoner, not bond. She grinned. Broke it good. Siley traced the foam patch she'd applied mid-chase. Human fragility, soft skin, no natural armor. Yet Mara sprinted, fought, endured. Outlasted Riss endurance drills. Your kind expected pain. Got this. Proximity alarm chirped. Teskvel tailed through jump. No, ghost echo, but scopes cleared showed pursuit signatures. Both empires hunted the compromise. Where now? Siley asked. Her implant buzzed. House override attempted. Locked. For hours. Mara plotted course. Neutral fringe. Asteroid belts, black markets. Regroup. Siley nodded. Frill eased. Mara's hand lingered in hers. Warmth spread. Enemies to this. Hours blurred. Shuttle ghosted through debris fields. Siley monitored repairs. Hull patches holding. Drive stable. Mara slept in crash couch. Breath even. Siley watched. Human vulnerability. No scales. No venom spurs. Yet unbreakable. Implant pinged. Teskvel. Location shared. Retrieval imminent. Sever bond. She crushed the link. Claws retracted. No severance. Mara stirred. Trouble? Teskvel. Close. Mara sat up. Checked guns. We fight. Together. Siley's tail curled near Mara's boot. Trust built in sprints. Drags. And clasps. Juno's rules. Risk purity. Shattered. Sensors pinged real. 2 corvettes decloaked ahead. Juno's mark. Ambush. Strap in. Mara ignited weapons. Siley manned turrets. Rice targeting overlays synced. Flank left. Mara jinked. On it. Shots exchanged. 1 corvette grazed. Vented Admo. Second pursued. Teskvel's voice pierced. Siley. Stand down. Human call begins. Her turrets locked. Negative. Fired. Enemy fighter crumpled. Mara whooped. Nice shot. Collaboration, human instinct, wrist precision. Unbeatable. Pursuit thinned. They slipped into nebula fog. Safe for breaths. Deck lights dimmed. Rest cycle. Mara offered ration bar.
Share? Saley took half.
Chewed. Human flavors. Salty. Sustaining. Why me? Protocols say execute. Mara leaned close. Scents mingled. Sweat. Ozone. Her, you're not enemy. Not anymore. Sayali's frill brushed Mara's shoulder. Accidental. Not. Bond partner. Prove it. Mara's lips quirked. Leaned in. Kiss. Tentative scales to skin. Saley froze. Then met it. Heat bloomed. Alarms shattered. Dreadnought emergence. Riss flagship. Lock-ons hot. Jump. Saley yelled. Mara punched it. Stars blurred again. Fleet's shadows chased. Escape slimmed. Bond held. Hunters vowed erasure. They bowed each other. Deeper fringe. Asteroid base loomed. Smuggler docked. Mara hailed. Permission, gruff voice. IDs. Sally broadcast house sigil. Masked. Refugee status. Docked hard. Airlock cycled. Figures waited. Mixed crews. No uniforms. Mara shouldered pack. Stick close. Saley followed. Hand brushed Mara's. Interlocked. Teskvel's ping spiked. Minutes out. Juno's intercept probable. Inside base. Shadows hid them. Vendor hawked parts. Mara bartered for fuel cells. Saley scanned. Clear.